and welcome to Dead Frontier 2. This is going to be a basic video for all the new people that are trying out the game. There's some basic stuff that you can do and learn here. First off thing, if you are playing the game, you can obviously remove your pants, you can remove your shirt, and you'll end up being naked on the screen. But since we don't want to be demonetized, which I don't really care because I'm not making money out of YouTube videos, you can actually go naked. So if you're interested in your character, especially female character, you can run around naked, and you will usually attract people or players to start staring at you or follow you. But let's put those equipments on. We do want to have some stats, so that's why you don't want to go naked unless you're planning on playing something, for achievement or whatever. You're running around naked and not having any extra stats. But let's start off. You're gonna have some energy, which is your hunger. You find some food, you're gonna be able to eat, and it will fill up the energy. So hydration is obviously water or anything that's liquid to fill up your hydration. You do have some stuff like long life milk. It gives you a little bit more of food and quite a lot of water. And the best one is usually the orange juice, which gives you 1k water and roughly 400 on the food. Something else they want to check up on is the health. You're gonna find some items that can heal you flat with the health, or you can find some healing items or medical supplies that cures diseases, cures debuffs that you get from the infected. Now, going with the stats, etc., I would recommend going with looter first, and the reason for that is you want to search or loot things faster, and you want to have that passive of finding rare loots, elite loots, and obviously superior loots. The best loot is obviously elite, and then you want to go off with rare afterwards, and then superior is the blue rarity. Now, this is my first character. I picked up each one of these abilities that unlocks. I would not recommend kick unless you're not having any melee weapons with you. Kick is quite useful when you want to kick some enemies away while you're reloading or whatever, but I feel like Sprinter does that much better. It's like in all the Dead Frontier 1 where you just sprint away when you need to. The zombies won't be able to catch up with you. They usually stop after a few, once they start to run, or when you reach the zombies that start to run, they will stop at some point, and then they're gonna have to recover their stamina or something. So Sprinter is usually the counter for that. So I don't think kickboxing is really worth it in my opinion, if you have melee or if you have Sprinter. Quick reflexes, dodge gives you ability to dodge. I don't think it's worth it. You press spacebar. It gives you iframe, I guess, when a zombie is about to bite you. It works well if you're doing attacks like this, and you feel like you probably missed the zombie, so you can do a animation cancel, and that will usually prevent you from getting hit if you missed an attack. But I usually go with the right click, because right click makes you go forward and attack, unlike the left click, which is swipe. That's quite, it doesn't move you that far forward. So you could cancel yourself out. You can, it's a pretty decent skill, but I believe in the long end, when you play for the end game, you're gonna have weapons instead to shoot them in range. So yeah, my opinion, it's not worth it unless you really want to play around with dodge. Lockpicking is currently not working, I believe, so we'll have to see later on what's going to be available to lockpick. I noticed there are some locked doors which we can't lockpick. I do believe we can find some lockpicks that we can use maybe to lockpick locked doors. Now, stealth is a really good ability in my opinion. It gives the ability to crouch or sneak. Zombies won't detect you because every time you run around, zombies will detect you. Zombies that are laying down on the floor will detect you if you're running. So sneaking, I would recommend having at least 1 point on it. And if you're playing for endgame, you're obviously not gonna have strength or melee expert or brute force, brute strength to boost up your melee. But what you could do instead is, if you do level up your stealth, it's going to increase the surprise damage, and that only works once per zombie. So when zombie doesn't see you or notice you or detect you, you can sneak up on them and then start to whack them. That whack, the first hit, the preemptive strike, it will deal a lot of damage. So if you check on your shovel, for example, it says surprise attack damage at the bottom is 15 damage, but usually it's 3 damage only. So think of it as Dark Souls, where you surprise them, backstab them, and having the stealth will increase the damage by 5%. It will reduce the sneak visibility range, and you will also run faster when you sneak. So at least level 1, in my opinion, if you do want to have this opportunity. When you don't have any ammo left, you're going to have your shovel, and if you open doors, you're going to notice zombies are going to be straight in front of you, but they haven't noticed you. So you can crawl or sneak in front of them and then whack them and get that one shot. Sometimes they don't die to one shot, so make sure to smack them on the floor just to make sure that they are dead, or in case there are some worms on the floor. So starting off, I guess we're done talking about most of the stats, I believe. I think the 4 stats I would go with is Looter, Stealth, and Sprinter. So once you have those 4 skills leveled up, you're going to be able to level up your Looter again at level 5. Make sure to do that, and then do the same thing with the remaining skills that you have. If you don't want to put any more on Stealth, I would recommend, let's see, what else can we pick? I think Survivalist might be good if you plan on looting a lot, or Survivor. I think it was called Survivor, but I don't think there's. Well, you could focus on a weapon specific skill to increase your damage or increase the stats on that. But since I'm going to be playing majority of the, all of the weapons, I would probably go with something else like reloading or Marksman to increase their accuracy or increase your reload speed faster, or maybe headshot damage, because you're always going to be aiming at the zombie's head. But since this is my first character, I'm just trying out everything. You can always respec, which I'm going to show you. When you head to the police department, which is your first quest when you enter the game, or when you create your character, you want to head for the police department. And obviously every doors will give you this loading screen telling you that, oh, you're entering the zone. So police department is your outpost, like in Dead Frontier 1. You usually want to talk with every NPCs, I already done that, but when you talk to most of the NPCs in police department, you are going to get missions, and missions you can check which location you're going to be at and what you need to do over here. So it's fairly simple. Do the missions. That's your daily thing that you can do, I believe. You get XP, you get money. Money is the thing that you want to have, so you can use the market and buy some stuff. So what I would recommend here is to actually check each piece of clothing at rare, and the reason for that is because of the items over here. You can get a lot of stats for free by paying $2 only, and you start off with $50 when you play the game. And when you do quests, you get even more money. So try to do that, get clothing for that, get weapon as well. Recommendation for a weapon is the CZ or CC, the pistol with 15 clip size. This will help you a lot, so you don't have to reload all the time with Ivanov. You usually start off with a damaged Ivanov, so I would recommend just go ahead and buy a CZ.
You'll die out there.
Another weapon I would recommend is a melee. You could go for rifle or shotgun. Doesn't really matter which one you go for. You're gonna have surplus of rifle ammos, shotgun ammos. I would not recommend some machine gun yet at low level, because it's not worth spending or spamming all the bullets that you're wasting that you can use on pistol instead. But I think some machine gun will be good at late game. But going on with melee, you do want to check up on the iron pipe. Is pretty good when you start off. It's a hard-hitting weapon, but it's also slow. Has a very good knockback distance and very good stun duration in comparison to the 2x4. I don't really like 2x4, it deals too low damage. But a weapon that we recommend is baseball bat at level 5, wrench when you can get as soon as possible. I believe a normal wrench would be at level 3. Wrench is obviously having higher stun duration, and it deals 3 damage. Really, really good. And the next weapon we recommend is the shovel. It's the same type, I guess, like the shovel and the wrench. They both deal 3 damage. They both have the same attack speed, 0.67. They both have the same stun. So it's just a preference on how you wanna have your weapon. I usually have a shovel because I prefer smacking them with a shovel than a wrench. It looks much cooler with a two-handed. Oh, it looks like you're using a two-handed weapon. So yeah, Lucia Walls is one of the NPCs you want to get for quests. Raoul Buchanan has a quest, and Derek Jacobs has a quest at the beginning. So entering the door, with the double door in the police department, you want to talk with Chloe Nixon, she has a quest. Talk to Vivian Tyson, she has a quest there as well. And usually all the officers are not giving you any quests, they're just giving you some tips and hints about doing headshots on zombies. So you will notice first there's a place to go down that's leading to the prison. Nothing important over there. You do want to go over here though and talk to Brittany. Brittany will give you the wedding ring quest where you can collect at one of the buildings in here. And you would also want to go over here and talk to Xavier for some quests and James Haley for some quests as well. All the remaining or other doors is not worth going through. It's just a big maze and a very small chance to find something to loot. So not really worth it. Not even worth going upstairs either. So yeah. That's about it. Sergeant, what's his name? Sergeant Carlson skill reset that you can buy with real money to reset. You can, instead of, if you're playing free to play, obviously, you can reach to level 20, you can prestige your character. You can obviously do that every 20 levels. You can do that only 5 times. So playing around obviously with your skills, etc. It doesn't really matter at the start, but if you do plan on focusing on reaching to Prestige 5, maybe going for that XP boost skill instead until you reach to the end, and obviously you can try out all the skills and see which one you prefer for your end game build. And I believe we're done with explaining the police department. We're going to be heading off to showcase Dallbow a little bit. So in these buildings with the staircase you can find some avenues or apartments. In each one of them usually has one boss in there, which is locked behind a key door, and usually you find the key in the building to open up. Donut King is something I would recommend to do. There's a quest for this. To kill 13 infected, 13 zombies. And once you've done that, you can't really keep track on it unless you grab the quest, but I would recommend clearing out the whole zone before you go to the quest giver. There's also a boss over here, usually behind the locked door. It will spawn a burning zombie usually. If it's not a burning zombie, it's a tall zombie with like lots of bugs on him, or it might be a tall zombie with lots of blood on him. So the blood is usually the zombie that causes bleed, and the fire zombie causes you to have burning damage on you, which means you take 50% more damage per hit. And there's the swarm or whatever fly type of zombie where I think you get diseased or something, that you have to use some antibiotics or something. On the opposite side of Donut King, you have the watering hole. In this zone you can find an item which is for this NPC in the Drunken Sailor. So if you head to the Drunken Sailor, you can grab the quest before you head to the watering hole. And this NPC called Nicole Wheeler, which is requested by a lot of time, like on Discord, people are asking, where do I turn in, where can I find the NPC? She's in this Drunken Sailor, she wants the brooch, and you get that from the building watering hole. If you grab the quest and you head out, you will see a green text telling you to head to the watering hole. If you have found the brooch before that, it's going to be a little bit difficult to find the NPC, but she's in Drunken Sailor. Now, if you picked the quest in the police department, you're going to be able to head to the Sunnydale apartments. And the apartments is really huge. It can be a maze. I would recommend, obviously, open up all the doors and go through all the hallways, all the rooms. It's not really that difficult to go through them, but obviously zombies takes time to kill. And always make sure when they are falling down the floor, make sure to try to attack them again on the floor, just to make sure that they're dead. Sometimes they're still alive, they're laying down on the floor faking their death, and obviously they might spawn some worms as well, which is annoying. So at the Sunnydale apartment, you want to go to the staircase, and before you head up, go to the left door. They say that the game will auto-generate the rooms, etc., but from day one, if you're playing from day one, the second door to the right is usually a spot with the NPC here. So the NPC here is called Paxton Herring, and Paxton Herring gives you the quest to kill in the Donut King, which I recommended before or earlier if you watched. You have to kill 13 infected, so if you kill 13 infected before that, you can turn in the quest immediately, so you don't have to run forward and back to turn in the quest. But if you do happen to find this guy, he's in the second room to the right, and he will tell you to go to Donut King. You can head out and get the kills and then head back in to turn it in. But yeah, the last door to the left by the stairs, and then the second door to the right. Now, heading to the second floor of the Sunnydale apartment, there was a quest at the police department to find some evidence of this NPC, and the NPCs in the second floor. At the end of the hallway, enter the double doors and then run all the way to the hallway. There's gonna be two doors here. You want to go to the right, and usually you will find a fat zombie here, a female fat zombie. You kill her and she will glow, and that means or indicates that she drops a quest item or mission items. So she will drop the name tag, and that will be the end of your quest. When you get the name tag, you head back to the Police department, you talk to Derek, which is the NPC next to the what was it? He was next to the account stash, so that's a pretty simple and pretty fast quest to do. But if you do plan on entering all these stores, it will take some time. You get some loot, which is pretty good, but you know, you don't have to if you're rushing. But this is just a basic guide to help you out with the quest around this zone. I believe there might be more quest givers, like NPCs that you can find. I haven't really checked out all the buildings, but since I leveled up pretty fast, we're having a lot of quests in next zone. I believe Coopertown was having like 4 to 5 quests there. I was heading over there immediately at level 4 instead. You don't really have to be level 5, it's recommended to be level 5, but level 4 should be good enough. But head to Coopertown for your next quest that your police department was telling you about. Do all of them. The next quest after that will be at Arkbrook, I believe, or Archbrook. You do one quest over there, head back to Dallbow, you turn in at the police department. But yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think there's much more to share as a basic or as a starter video for Dead Frontier 2. You do all your quests. When you're out of quest, you will be around level 6, level 5, level 7. The next zone will require you to be level 10, I believe. Yeah, so it's going to be level 10 for the next zones. If you do happen to level up or try to level up, I would recommend being at Coopertown. There's going to be some NPCs over there as well that you haven't seen. You find them in the buildings. They're going to be like hiding or whatever. They will tell you to go to the West Moldale and do your quest over there, but since it's a level 10 zone, I would still recommend to finish off everything in Coopertown, finish everything in Arkbrook, try to get as many quests as you can, and then head to West Moldale afterwards. But yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's much more to talk about. I hope you guys enjoy this basic guide, I guess. I know I've been talking a lot, but this is just, you know, a starter tutorial video, I guess, on how to get around the first town. You obviously want to have some parts and fuels that you want to bring with you. Like I think I mentioned it at the very beginning, but you store them up in the vehicle and then you can refuel your car, and then you head to your full stats and you can check your vehicle, and you can see, you know, how much fuel you have. So that's about it. Other things that you can do, you can offer items, which I don't recommend, only if you are trading with a player. You don't want to trade to a player and, you know, expect them to, you know, see things or react or believe that someone has done something, because if we're opening up the private trades, you're gonna have to check it by yourself if someone has traded you. So it's kind of difficult unless you're communicating or playing with someone on Discord or whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. The next video is obviously gonna be a little bit more about the end game, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm even close to the end game, but the end game is level 20, I believe. Yeah, for now in early access. But I'm gonna be covering up, I guess, the West Moldale maybe in the future, or Coopertown. But for now, this is the video for Dallbow. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next video.